Everybody. Welcome to Die Party Drawing Board. I am contractually obligated to be here. Um, no, I'm kidding. The thing is, we're doing a Vampire the Masquerade prep episode here, which is going to be the first in a series of episodes that we're going to do about our incredibly popular and sexy Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game that happens at 5 p.m. PST on Monday nights. Um, I don't normally do a lot of prep uh, for any individual episode, but it just so happens that the last episode called for a particular piece of prep, um, and we're going to be doing something interesting here that I'm not exactly sure how to do. Um, and I thought it would be a great idea if we shared this with you, this sort of uh, trying and learning phase of this particular piece of prep. And what we're doing is the player characters last episode uh, sort of staked their claim in LA. Um, and so now they have Ann Turf. Um, and it's based in a real part of LA, and it's in between two other turfs. And so what I want to do is take an actual real map of LA, uh, pull it off of the internet somehow, hopefully without any labels, and stick it into Roll20 so that the player characters can slowly populate each building with the things that are in their turf. So if, for example, somebody asked me one episode, uh, do we have a liquor store in our turf? Um, I can go ahead and plop that down on one of the buildings, and now we know that's a liquor store, and maybe we'll name it Pizza Smut or something. You know, we've made some fake buildings and businesses in the show already, so having it not labeled would be very helpful. It's also occurring 25 years, 27 years in the past, so the map wouldn't be exactly accurate anyway. Um, so I think that's everything. I've got a couple of I've gone online and I've looked up some suggestions, and what I've got is a couple of map programs that claim to do what we want to do here. Um, and so we're going to start with some of these. Uh, this one uh, is Google My Maps, I think. I'm not exactly sure of the name, and already this one is really enticing to me because it let me mark what the turf is. And it has all sorts of different bases. Here's the standard Google Maps base. Um, and so you can't see it? Oh. Oh, right, the map layers, right. Well, I can't move that, Dave. I'm sorry. It's stuck. Dave is in my ear. By the way, thanks, Dave, for hosting this. It's his channel. He hosts everything. But he's always very conducive to great experiments and ideas, and it's a great place to create on Die Party. Um, but you'll see you apparently can't see the drop down window, but you can see basically the different the bases that I can select here. Standard Google Maps, standard satellite Google Maps, uh, maps with heavy terrain, maps with nothing on them, maps with a little bit less on them. I'm particularly partial to this one, which keeps uh, the streets names in, but does not label anything else. Um, so the goal here is to see if we can't pull this out, because we just want exactly what is marked here. Uh, uh, we want exactly what is marked here. This zone. Should probably choose a more poppy color for it. Yeah, that helps it pop out. Their turf is East Olympic Boulevard from the LA River to Highway 130B over here. and 710. This whole exchange and interchange. Um, the industrial zone to their south, uh, and the houses to their direct north are sort of buffer zones, which the gangs of LA, the vampiric gangs of LA, uh, maintain. Previously, their whole turf was a buffer zone between what will be the Boyle Heights gang, um, and sort of this other southern gang, which in the LA at Night book is not named based on its geographical location. It's ruled by somebody called Crystal. Um, but yeah, so our goal is to get just this. Whoopsies, it moved into Roll20, because we don't want too much clutter. You may notice if you watch shows that we don't. In my games, we don't. We used to have a map screen that we would occasionally cut over to, but it was static and unchanging because my maps are for they're to help clarify player decisions. Especially this map is to help clarify the process for the players of how they're going to make this turf their home. Where they're going to stake their claims, where they're going to try and ghoul people or mind control people and take over businesses. It's really more of just something to keep track of. I don't do battle maps, or anything like that, and that is much more active and energetic and the sort of thing that you would want to show on stream. Um, and so, we used to show the static maps that I would make just for the players' use, but it just we would cut over to it for like 15 seconds just to mark something and then cut back, and it was a lot of work for not much payoff. So you won't be seeing this map most likely in the future, except for in this drawing board. So there is a share button. Does it let me download it or something? And how much does it share? Does it show the entire planet or just exactly what I'm zoomed in on? Another slight issue is that that I've been noticing with at least the Google My Maps is that this is just a smidge too zoomed out, and the next zoom in is just a smidge too zoomed in. like if we were just going to get we could just theoretically get a print screen in this type of scenario, but we really wouldn't have the fidelity that we want in marking each location at this zoom, and at this zoom it's just too much. We wouldn't be able to get the whole turf. Where is the button to lock this thing in place so I stop fucking moving it? Edit. Turf. Vampire turf. Stay still. No, I don't think describing it as standing still has locked it in place. I'm not seeing any feature at all um, to pull this out, which is what we want. So what I'm going to do is try one of these other programs, especially since this program was so good at showing you the area that we're trying to get. Um, we can maybe try one of these other ones just for the sake of its functionality. So here is something called OpenStreetMap, which is supposed to do what we want. As you can see, I have pre-prepared it to already be at the location that we are interested in. This one also has the various layers, and we're again looking for one that doesn't label things. This is fairly unlabeled except for elementary schools and like bus stops. Now this one is supposed to have a download and edit feature. Right, so edit. Start the walkthrough. Edit now. No, it's just for contributing. I don't want to contribute. I want to take. I just want to take your map, your delicious map. Oh, this just became very much more complicated than I thought. Ooh, now that's pretty. Ooh, this is perfect. Okay, we've got an export feature that we can manually. I don't know if you can see that actually. Maybe just a little too far to the left. But we have a manual select here. I can float it over here for a second. We can manually select the area that we export here. So if we can just get the actual, what do we want? Manually select a different area. Perfect. Oh, look at this. Gorgeous. This is just what we wanted. I don't think it's going to let me make it something other than a square. It's possible. Dave's talking in my ear and giving suggestions. Also, sometimes he might come through. I have no idea when he's actually broadcasting the stream. I'm pretty sure he also has the technology to broadcast to just the stream and not to me and call me a dick butt.
I would never call you a dick butt without you hearing it.
See, that's what our relationship is based on. When we insult each other, it's to our faces. I don't want. So this transport map is like perfect, except for it has these weird zones in it. I don't want them.
So I'm just gonna pipe in here. Is there any way that you can pull like historical maps?
I bet there are historical maps somewhere.
You said it's what year was it? It's like 19.
It's the early '90s somewhere,
Yeah.
like vague. We don't need to define it too much.
Interesting. Okay.
But it is the '90s and not the '80s and not the 2000s. Like that's what we can say with certitude. So we could probably get an accurate map, but we don't want that either because it's the world of darkness. So our '90s LA map isn't completely accurate, and we really want the space here to have player decisions change what each building is. So we want a map that has like this, which shows each building, which is great because then we can, limit ourselves to size and space. We don't want the transportation map. So I think the cycling map is the best option here if we're using this, whatever it is. Okay, please go away, little X thing. Please go away. I need you to go away. Oh, ah, ha 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 ha. Thank you, Dave. See, this is where the little voice in the head helps. So we will try exporting this, and then maybe work with it in Paint or something. Sorry, Dave, we don't all pay for Photoshop. The most northern edge and the most southern edge of your territory are in here. Okay. The thing is, I'm pretty sure what we export will be as zoom inable as it is on here. I think we're just going to try this and see what happens. I've clicked the button, and now the button can't be clicked anymore. But I don't see a map anywhere. I don't see a download anywhere.
You need to tell Steve to stop being such a clingy bitch. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Whoopsies. Fucking Discord pop-ups. Yeah. What the fuck was with Discord pop-ups? Also, where the fuck did this export to?
It's still doing a thing up the top. You can see it.
Just give it a moment. We will just stop replying. Now that now that you know that the Discord pop-ups are popping up live on stream, why are you still replying? All right. So while we're waiting for that to scrolly wheel, let's maybe try another map program, or would that totally fuck it up? How do I stop it? Oh, God damn it. Overlay notifications. I have notifications set to fucking never.
You literally have to.
Damn it. Sheepdogs.
Fucking goddamn it! You have to turn them off.
I'm trying desperately.
Just go to notifications and go enable desktop notifications.
There we go.
And turn it
It's set to never. All right. Now that a bunch of people have abused that.
Fucking sheepdog.
This is called Snazzy Maps, and also apparently it also maybe does what we want. Maybe. What I really like about it is that look at how fucking it can get real pretty. So hopefully we can export from this because that'd be great. Because look at this. Ooh, dark map. For our gritty dark game that's gritty and dark. And I can change how it's a dark map. Yeah, I think again those might be hidden under my webcam. But ooh, look at how pretty it is. Here we are, our turf. search for a location, build a map, create a style. Ooh, well, that changes the background color. What if the Los Angeles River was as red as blood? Like, that's cool, but how do I change the text stuff? And that's just default Google Maps again. You're not fooling anybody, Snazzy Maps. Okay, that's a little featureless. Ooh, that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, let's go over to that green one because that's exactly LA at Night cover book. I don't know why we'll be doing an episode about the LA at Night splat book for this drawing board thing. We're going to be talking about some of the things that we changed and kept and the features that are in the book. We're just going to be talking about the splat book. It's got a green style, which is great. But LA is called like the Big Orange, isn't it? Like, and it's Orange County and shit. Why didn't they do orange? I don't know. Anyway, I'm applying the style and seeing if there's the actual capacity to get to pull this out while OpenStreetMap continues to scroll a wheel at a ooh, download image. Download map images. Okay. Map dimensions up to log in or register to check it out. Why don't we register? Why don't we register on the other screen? No, I've just moved it to my other. Yeah. Dr. Wreckage. I'm not giving you my real name over my cold, dead hands. Why do you, every time I tell you not to, one of these days, I'm just going to quit Die Party. I've now signed up for all of these things, by the way. I also had to sign up for OpenStreetMap. Um, and we're back. All right. Download images. Oh, perfect. It is going to let me. Okay, so this looks like I'm fucking nuking LA. um, hey, you shut up. This is a lot of fun. That's just barely too small. Well, let's just cut off the river a little bit, I guess, and just let's just try it. Oh, ooh, wait, we can scale factor? What does that mean? I have a limited number of downloads for a day. Hey, there we go. That one actually like worked, unlike OpenStreetMaps, which is still fucking scrolly wheeling. Even though OpenStreetMaps was actually more accurate. Open in Paint.
Coming soon, the Die Party experience brought to you by Snazzy Maps. Not
Hey, look,
hashtag
man.
not sponsored. Hashtag didn't show the competition being trashed or anything.
Look, man. I said we're gonna find out what works together. And Snazzy Maps is it is like 100 pixels too not wide enough, but I think that works actually. Let's most of our editing, whoopsies. Let's just undo that. Um, most of our editing is going to occur in Roll20, which has plenty of drawing features and labeling features for the aspiring GM and player, also not sponsored. East Olympic Boulevard. Wait, which one are you thinking about? No, there isn't. There's no way. There is. What the fuck? God damn it. Oh, okay. Well, then I won't clue the audience into what you just said. Maybe they'll figure it out on their own. This is pretty stylish. Let's do the next thing that we have to do to put it into Roll20. This is actually kind of hard to get stuff into Roll20. I don't need. Okay, that's actually a great offer, Steve, but it's not kind of what we're doing here because we've already actually chosen. Steve is in the chat and lives in LA and has most of his life. He could maybe tell us what East Olympic Boulevard actually is like. But that wasn't the plan for the episode. But that still sounds pretty cool. Maybe we'll get him in. Steve, if you'll recall, for all of you World of Darkness Die Party fans, played as the leader of Sin Eaters. You remember Steve, Dave?
How
I
can
can't hear
I
you, Dave.
forget that motherfucker? God damn it.
Oh, okay. He's whispering in a very sexual way because their relationship in the game and out of the game was extremely sexual. Really, one of the main reasons Sin
No, it
Eaters.
wasn't. This was supposed to be a serious
One of the
episode, but whatever. Who
main
gives a
reasons
fuck
that
now?
Sin Eaters failed was because of their constant just sexualness, getting us off track at the game. Anyway, we're gonna get this into Roll20 now. And the way that we do that, I have two monitors. You won't be able to see what's happening on the other monitor. But maybe not the best way, but certainly the way that I know to get things as an image onto Roll20 is to just drag it from somewhere else on your computer. It certainly would be handier to like copy paste or some shit, but where did this save? Nope. Picture. Ooh, that'd be shitty. I guess we'll have to save it as a more advanced file version. I tried PNG and it said it would lose transparency. The text is all transparent, semi-transparent. Let's try JPEG. Nope. Which does BIMP picture have it?
All right, go to PNG.
Okay.
Yep, and then you should be able to save it with a a layer of transparency attached to it. If you can't, it's because
I mean, it's just paint.
you know paint is a piece of shit. So
Right. Well, then I guess we'll just. Well, all right.
see, there you go. There you go.
All right. Yoink. Meanwhile, OpenStreetMap still attempting. Okay. Uh, it'll come in probably not the size that you want it on Roll20. So a couple of things that you're going to do is you're going to go to page settings on Roll20, and you're going to have to change the width and the height because we're not going to go through all the effort of like rescaling our picture or anything. So instead, we'll rescale Roll20. So we're going to increase our width probably by double. Height's fine, maybe a 30. And then we'll go back to this picture and we'll blow it up. Just in the simplest, the simplest, most Cro-Magnon way of picture and map editing in Roll20. We'll also send it to the map layer because then we won't accidentally move it while we're using it. And we will also turn off the grid because then it'll be on the map layer, but we also won't get a dumb grid. Now is that as closed off as we... No, that's even smaller than the original. It's getting cut off somewhere. Bear with me, we're almost done. Well, not done. We're almost to the next part. Right, now we need to be able to interact with it. Go to the map layer. There it is. It was slightly up in the corner somehow. Just a little bit of white space on the sides to know what you're dealing with. And unfortunately, you get this thing in Roll20 where, unless you're totally zoomed out, it thinks that there's more bottom white space than there is, and lowering the amount of bottom white space will never fix that, as I have learned. All right, so here we are. We are now in Roll20. We have a very stylish map of East Olympic Boulevard, which is the turf. And we will have the capacity to zoom in quite a lot, actually, and mark stuff. So the first thing that we're going to mark is one of the things that has already been established about our turf and East Olympic Boulevard. So we are going to mark the barriers of the turf. So we'll do, yeah. I don't know. Is there a way to make a transparent shape in Roll20? Probably not. We'll just do polygons and lines with like a thick border. Dave is asking me to mark the edge of the territory before I start marking some of the stuff that we've already done in the game. It's not as nice as my maps, but we didn't know how to get my maps off of the thing. the highway here is sort of the natural border as well. So I'm not going to put a big red line there. But yeah, we'll maybe choose a better color later. For now, we're going to start marking things. And my favorite way to mark things is with a like very simple in Roll20 anyway. Very simple shapes with different colors and slightly different shapes, and then make a legend at the bottom. Because if you're doing like text boxes and like lines and stuff, you're going to get cluttered very quickly. Um, Hand view. So whether or not uh, this is actually true in the real world, in our game, they have discovered a dance club uh, called Tequila Tango uh, on East Olympic Boulevard, and so that'll be one of our. As the players have already decided that they're going to go after that, that'll be one of our landmarks and one of our known businesses. That is too big. I'll make that thin. That's too thin. All right, perfect. And so now we have a map and a territory, and we've got a marked place. We've got space here at the bottom for a legend, or at the top. And you can just take the whatever shape and color you've selected, and you can copy paste it to your legend. I mean, it's not going to save you much time, I guess, but whatever. Tango. Tequila Tango. And then when our players zoom out and they're wondering what shit is, they know that, whoop, Tequila Tango is there. And we'll populate with some other stuff. We've got interest um, the in the actual real world. There's a community hospital on Olympic Boulevard, so that's already been mentioned. One of our characters is a doctor, a surgeon, and a Zamisi. So I'm sure that we'll end up marking that hospital. We've mentioned like shitty schools, which also actually exist. So we're taking the real city of LA, at least as far as maps tell us, and using that as inspiration for the darker version of World of Darkness. Um, so why are we making a map? Like, what is it going to provide to the players? And last session, um, we and we've had this problem previously in World of Darkness. World of Darkness is largely a sandbox game where players are encouraged by the game to do whatever they want to further their own ends in the World of Darkness. There's very rarely um, a dragon to go kill and get the loot, right? So, you might be trying to get the edge up on a competing business or a competing gang, a competing organization, or revenge on an individual even, but like you have all of the tools that a modern story has at your disposal, which means you can go ruin them financially, you can go kill them, you can go burn their stuff down, you can go turn their allies against them. There's so many things that are available to you in the genre that it's hard to make decisions. Uh, and one of the things that I found is that having a very clear uh, world defined um, for the players uh, will help with that. I think I'll probably come back to Snazzy Maps, which was the one that eventually worked, um, and start as the players learn this and acquire this from people in universe. We will start to do sort of like larger LA maps that have various turfs marked on them, and this will help players make decisions as they play. Um, so, I mean, we spent a very minimal amount of time making this work with the overall goal that during play, in character and out of character decisions will be quicker and snappier, and there'll be less um, back and forth and less spinning of the wheels. Uh, Hopefully that bears fruit. Um, Dave, do you have any questions? Um, yeah, we made a map. Um, we took a real city map. We have now turned it into a usable Roll20 tool for our tabletop role playing game. Um, I could talk about other stuff, but this feels like very specific theme, very on point. Alrighty then. So thanks everybody for this sort of interesting little thing that we just did. Um, I hope it was helpful to you if you are intending on doing a World of Darkness game or another game where you need to use a real city map and how to get it into Roll20. Um, we will be populating this map throughout play. Um, and maybe we'll continue to show it to sort of show its progress and see how much we did or did not use it. And hopefully you'll be able to see how useful it was. I'm Dr. Wreckage. Uh, don't bother following me on Twitter. I do all my stuff here. But do follow Dave on Twitter or here on Twitch if you enjoyed this. We will be doing more uh, meatier episodes about Vampire the Masquerade for Drawing Board very soon. We will be doing one about the LA at Night splat book that we are using for the show, and we will be doing one about lore. Um, Hopefully, we can get some other people in who know stuff about lore, and we can sort of rap about lore. I'm looking at you, Sheepdog, um, but potentially other people as well. Uh, Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Um, don't cross the street without looking both ways first. Dave, what else do I got to do? All right. Abort, eject. Good night, everybody. Please watch on Monday night.